All right, let's take a live look at Europe right now. That's the Trevi Fountain, where tourists there always pack in, but they're packing into Europe in general. We're talking from London to Paris to Rome. Record tourism being reported. Hotels are booked up, attractions sold out, and this is months in advance. Now, the Trevi Fountain in Rome, if you haven't been there, you can just kind of walk up there, but it is a hard trek to get up to the front. Right now, it is 4 in the afternoon as you're looking at that live look. Keep in mind at Trevi Fountain, there's about 1,000 to 1,200 visitors per hour in a normal year. That's a $10.5 million person swing in a year. Experts say this return of mass tourism to Europe is mainly fueled by Americans, motivated by what's being called post-pandemic revenge tourism, which basically means that people are more eager to travel and less willing to cancel their vacation plans. So that's leading to what they're calling over-tourism in certain parts of Europe. Keep in mind, overall, travel within Europe is actually down 10% from 2019. Let's talk more about this. We've got Gabe Saglie, our travel expert, joining us live. You've been in there, and I mean, Europe is very popular. I know so many people. I've seen everyone on Facebook telling me they're going to Europe.
Yeah, the posts are incredible. We're here currently in Dingle, Ireland, coming to you from the beautiful Castlewood House bed and breakfast here in the Dingle Peninsula. If you've been to Dingle, you know, one of the most gorgeous places here in Ireland. But this is sort of the tail end of our family of fives whistle-stop tour through Europe. Our oldest is going to college in the fall, so we said, you know what, this is the time to do that European vacation we've been talking about for years. And we did Vienna, we did the south of Italy, the south of France, and we're here in Ireland now. But yeah, you said it, Claudine. Americans are driving this. The itch to travel connects us all, and no matter where you've turned, as we've gone on trains and we've gone on planes and cars, Americans are all around, and really. Not just Americans at the end of the day, an amazing amount of Australians. Europeans are traveling in full force. I met so many people from Asia, from Japan and China, so it's a global phenomenon. But yeah, Americans here are certainly setting records. The TSA checking through more Americans traveling to Europe now than in 2019. So
are you hearing this? Are you hearing this, Gabe, that this revenge tourism that's saying I had to put this off, this was something I didn't want to do, you know, didn't get to do, and I'm going to do it now no matter what?
No doubt. No doubt about it. In fact, you're seeing folks traveling in larger groups, getting some more of that family memory-making time in. I was talking to Elio, our cab driver in Florence. He said, listen, usually peak travel for us here in Florence, Italy, begins in, say, mid-April. It started in early March 1st this year. It's been nonstop ever since, and it's mostly Americans, he said, that have been coming in. We saw a bump last summer. This summer, we predicted another banner year, but even those expectations have been shattered. And I'm happy to say that the Saglie family has added to that boom this particular month.
It's interesting if you talked about some of the tourism numbers overall being down, but overall Americans going and doing this. And so if you're planning a trip or you're going, oh, I'm going in 2 weeks from now, you've got some ways to, you know, I think experience this a little differently. And I love these ideas because I know you're apparently going to be better at pasta making when you come back here. But there is a way to make Europe is big and it is overwhelming, and there's so much to do and so much to see. We're just looking at pictures of the Trevi Fountain where you could do that all day long. But some of these smaller experiences, I think, are really trending big into trying to make the big places littler.
Listen, my original to-do list was so long, my wife says, you're crazy. We've got to narrow this down. There are so many options out here. I think timing is going to be key. I mean, we were sort of pigeonholed into the summer season, but at the end of the day, if you can do a spring or fall getaway, what we call the shoulder seasons here in Europe, where the crowds thin out, when prices drop, that's the way to go. I mean, we were traveling around Italy and France, loved it, but mid to upper 90s for a lot of moving around. As far as money is concerned, keep in mind, if you haven't already, apply for a credit card that does not charge you for those foreign transaction fees. It makes a big difference. And if you've got to get cash on the road, use a bank ATM. There are a lot of ATMs everywhere, but the markup I've seen from 15 to 19% just as a markup. Banks are closer to 2 to 3%. So if you've got to get cash, get them out of the bank ATMs. And one thing I found, Claudine, which is tempting as I'll get out, food tends to be more inexpensive across Europe. I mean, you can spend a pretty penny on a lot of fine dining, but in Nice, France, in the store, we saw a wine for between €3 and €9, which made it very easy. Now, here are a couple of highlights from our trip. In Florence, pasta making. I know it sounds very touristy, and it was. But Sabrina there led us on a fantastic pasta making course. We learned how to make ravioli, and we learned how to make tortellini. And again, she's a Florentine local there, so she was not only teaching us how to make pasta and took extra care of making sure my 8-year-old daughter Madeline knew how to use a lot of this equipment, but also told us a lot of the ins and outs of where to go, what to see as a local there in Florence. Then in Nice, the beaches of Nice are world famous, but here's a fact. Let's talk about Vienna. Vienna, beautiful city, very majestic city. Transportation, amazingly affordable. It costs us about 12.5 euro each for a week-long limitless transportation ticket on the tram, on the subway. Yeah, so getting around very affordable and surprisingly easy.
All right, and then you said there was a private beach. When you talk about a private beach, I want to make sure that we talk about that as well.
Well, Nice has got these beautiful beaches, but they are beaches that tend to be very rocky. And so people the locals lay out on these rocky beaches, but for about 35 euro per person, you get these private beach access for all day. You get your lounge chair, you get your umbrella, which is key. And for us, this was a bit of a splurge because, again, very rocky, pebbly beaches. So if you want to kind of just enjoy a very comfortable beach experience, these azure waters there, it is, as they say, some of the most beautiful waters I've seen.
I'm looking
ever.
at it and I'm jealous. I'm seething with jealousy right now. Tell me this. 2 questions before we let you go. Is it mostly, you talked about the credit cards, mostly still cashless? Because I know, certainly after the pandemic, things were like that. And give me your best highlights from Ireland since that's your last stop.
In some places like Vienna, it was all cashless. In some places like Italy, you have to have some euros in your pocket when it comes to things like tipping, and some just on-the-go purchases like food and knickknacks. Now, I am coming to you from the Castlewood House in beautiful Dingle. This is a sweeping area in the westernmost stretches of Ireland. We took a drive along the Sleehead Drive. It includes the westernmost spot on the European continent. Some of the Star Wars movies were filmed here as well. Just absolutely gorgeous, sweeping territory out here. So if you like these beautiful open drives, this is the way to go. Again, this is the west coast of Ireland, known as the Wide Atlantic Way. And I've got to say, my hosts here, Helen and Brian Heaton, they built the Castlewood House from scratch 18 years ago. It has become sort of the B&B of record here in Dingle, one of the great breakfasts all over Ireland. I'm currently in the breakfast room where we started the day with Brian's fantastic traditional Irish breakfast. I had some smoked salmon and poached eggs. Hospitality reigns supreme. And the beautiful town of Dingle, where we're going to be having dinner tonight, just a quick walk in that direction. So we're having a great time closing out the vacation here in the next 4 days, then we're back in California.
Well, it looks fantastic, and I'm so glad that you are joining us. I know you have a little work while on vacation. I love seeing your fantastic family photos. Go enjoy your vacation. Thanks for all the great tips, as always.
Thanks, Claudine. See you soon.